Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, the fifth installment in the FNAF franchise, was supposed to be a standout title, bringing the series into a new and interesting direction by breaking away from the standard gameplay FNAF fans have always been familiar with, and for many years, it has generally been seen in a positive light. I too had always been part of the group that would look back fondly on this game, seeing it as one of, if not, the best FNAF game in the series. However, recently, after playing Sister Location, it really showed how the great game I always pictured it to be was simply a product of nostalgia and not actually a very well-made game at all. Why? How could such a seemingly unique and intriguing idea that brings something different to the table fall flat on its face? While Sister Location's goal of taking a new approach to the Five Nights at Freddy's series would seem like a great idea in concept, taking a break from the redundant loop of the first four games, in execution, the game just feels like a mess. Even though I could sit here for hours nitpicking each specific issue the game has, I think each of these issues all stem from one main problem. Even though FNAF is famous for its deep and intriguing storyline, each of the games prior to Sister Location keep the gameplay as the main focus of the game, and while references to the story are made in each of these games, the decision is up to the player whether they want to figure it out for themselves. Because of this, the game is able to feel like a natural experience, and this is what allowed the FNAF games to work so well in the first place. However, when it comes to Sister Location, as you play through the game, it becomes evident the entire game was built off of story, and this comes at the expense of a poorly structured game. While Scott's route of mixing up the style of gameplay isn't a bad idea in order to gain a breath of fresh air, ignoring it doesn't help either. While one could make the argument that taking a more story-focused approach could create a new style of gameplay with a differing perspective, building gameplay purely off the story causes the game to lack a strong foundation and leads to multiple other problems. Popular FNAF YouTuber made a video talking about the many problems that Sister Location has as a result of this. Some major topics of his argument were the game has little to no gameplay through all 5 nights, it's the least replayable FNAF game in a series known for its replayability, and the lack of Circus Baby throughout the entire game, who's supposed to be the main character. And I think all of these points bring up a key reason for why Sister Location turned out to be such a flop. Because of the story-heavy approach, it causes Sister Location to feel so dictated by a script that it doesn't feel like a game at all. And in Scott's attempts to create fun gameplay trying to mix it up, it just feels sloppy and not well thought through. If I were to ask you which of the 5 nights should be the hardest, or which should be the most action-packed, what would you say? Would you say night 5? Would you be surprised if I said out of all 5 nights, night 2 has the most gameplay? And if I said night 4 was so hard that Scott had to make an update just to make it easier? Well, it works as a perfect evidence to show huge issues like these are all symptoms of Scott's one fatal mistake: building an entire game off of a script, one that causes the same events to happen every single time, one that makes you feel like you're doing busy work for no reason, and one that has a finale ending like this.
Go forward. Stop. Go forward and left.
You see, it's interesting because instead of following instructions when you can see, now you're following instructions when you can't see. And you might be thinking, if Sister Location is such a bad game with all these blatant problems, then why isn't it universally hated? Well, this brings me to my next important point. A big driving factor for why so many people like Sister Location and think of it as such a great game is actually because they've never played the game before. And you might be thinking, how could someone like a game without ever even playing it? Well, another way that Sister Location became popular was actually through YouTube. Also makes mention of this by calling it the perfect YouTuber game. And the reason for this is the fact that Sister Location is a story-focused game. Let me explain. Even though it's not exactly surprising to hear that Sister Location is a story-heavy game, Usually the story being the structure of the game would be the problem. However, when watching someone else play the game, instead, it allows the spotlight to shift onto the story and the gameplay issues that make the overall playing experience so flawed virtually disappear. As a result of this, it allows Sister Location to go from a game with so much missed potential to a captivating movie-like experience with a deep overarching plot that really captures where all the thought and work went during development. While Sister Location's deep and intriguing plot made a huge contribution to the FNAF story, as well as a community of ongoing supporters, it really shows how one simple mistake could result in the downfall of an entire game. A game designed to take the FNAF series in an entirely new direction. A game with an entire voice cast and a full soundtrack with iconic songs still widely known to this day. A game with the potential to be the best in years and remembered for years to come. And a game made to expand on what Five Nights at Freddy's is as a whole. A game known as Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, as this took a pretty long amount of time. And I just want to say thank you to Yeah for being the inspiration for this video. His Sister Location video is actually pretty good too. If you want to check it out, I'll link it in the description. And yeah, hope you enjoyed.